the month of Pride, but how did the celebrations begin? Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer Pride Month started in June 1970. The first celebrations commemorated the anniversary of the Stonewall uprising in New York City in 1969. The demonstrations outside of the Stonewall Inn marked a turning point in rights for the LGBTQ community. According to the Library of Congress, the United States celebrated Gay Pride Day on the last Sunday in June. Since then, Pride has grown to become a month-long celebration featuring parades, concerts, and parties. Pride also is an opportunity to educate about diversity within the greater LGBTQ community. The Center for Black Equity and other groups organize events specifically for LGBTQ people of color. Pride Month raises awareness about LGBTQ issues, commemorates remarkable achievements by members of the community, and honors the legacies of the LGBTQ pioneers who fought for rights. The beauty of Pride is there's no one way to celebrate. And that's your 60 seconds of Pride.